Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's match preview West Ham United against Burnley. Gonzo, me. You kick it off with your thoughts on the Clarets, please.
Yeah, I think they've done remarkably well this season. Quite sort of stark contrast to maybe how they did under Vincent Kompany when they had, maybe a style of football, which, as we've discussed before, suited Vincent Kompany in terms of him getting moving to the Bundesliga and getting his dream job. But in terms of keeping Burnley up in the Premier League, it had a more a Russell Martin vibe about it, didn't it? Parker's got some grit. He's got determination. I'm not suggesting Kompany hasn't got those qualities, by the way. What a captain he was for Manchester City. He got plenty of fight. He's got lots about him. But in terms of how the team play, I think probably the team. I think the Burnley team under Scott Parker are probably similar to how Scott Parker played, but I don't really feel that that Kompany's Burnley carried his sort of fight and grit and determination. So I think they've probably got a nice balance here. I think Parker has done really well, bearing in mind what's happened. I think he was easily, perhaps too quickly discarded. Got the job at Burnley, brought them up. I think he's done a really, really good job there. And I think he's probably identified that you're going to need some pace in the team. And I think he's done that. I've seen very little of them. Let's get that right. I've seen very, very little of them. But I wouldn't be surprised if no more signings were made from now until the end of the season. I've got to take a look at Burnley at the weekend. I'll give you my full appraisal afterwards as we played Leeds. I think Burnley are better than Leeds.
I don't think that's a wild claim. I think they're perhaps more suited to the league. And it comes down to style of play. Like you said, last season in Championship, Burnley's defence was just insane. Conceding less than 20 goals is just incredible. And when they came up, they did feel better suited than Kompany's Burnley for the reasons you said. He came up and said, I know I've got a philosophy. We're going to stick with that. Hang on a minute, you're going to get ripped apart. It doesn't matter. It's my philosophy. We're sticking with it. And he essentially tried to play like Pep Guardiola's Man City with Burnley players, and it was never going to work. And it was sort of almost admirable to some extent, but also a little bit stupid at the same time. And I always think that if a manager's got his way of playing and he sticks to it, at what point does it go from being something you admire to something that you just think is totally bonkers? And Ange Postecoglou was a bit like that at Spurs as well. He's almost like, I'm playing my way. Yeah, but you're outside of relegation. Yeah, but I insist that my way is the right. Well, it's not though, is it? You're 17th in the league. But when Burnley came up this time round, you looked at the way that they played in the Championship and you thought, well, all they have to do is continue that. They can just improve their squad, get in similar players just to a different level. Maybe they'll have a chance of staying up. I do feel their squad's weak when I look at that squad. I'm not sure how many of those players I would class as Premier League quality per se, but then you could look at Wolves and West Ham and say, well, they've also got players that you would say are not Premier League quality, yet they've been in the Premier League far longer than Burnley. They've had one summer transfer window, albeit they done the whole yo-yo thing. I've been okay with what I've seen from them so far this season. I haven't seen them loads, so I just assume they've not been on television loads because I watch every game televised. I'm just not seeing them plenty. And usually when it comes to the 3:00 games or something, we're playing a team before Burnley. So that's the game I watch ahead of the next fixture. So I've not seen them loads, but they've been very unlucky against Liverpool at home, away to Man U, conceding 2 penalties very late on in those games. Perhaps got the right side of luck against Wolves, a very last minute goal against Wolves to win that game. And they've picked up important wins against Wolves, against Leeds United, against Sunderland as well. Now, Sunderland at the start of the season were not the Sunderland we're seeing today because they beat us, went to Burnley, and it was still a promoted team. Are they good enough for the Premier League? And Burnley beat them. And you thought, hello, maybe they're not going to be all right. Now, since then, Sunderland have gone on to go unbeaten in 8, so they're playing fantastically well. And they drew with Nottingham Forest, Burnley. So they're getting the points against the teams around them. And they've had a really tough start to the season in terms of fixtures, played some real big teams and tough teams already, getting beat by Arsenal last weekend as well. I guess the big question though is, Gonzo, do you think they'll have enough to stay up?
Well, I hope not. I hope not, because there's only 3 teams I could think that we could be better than, and they're one of them. So, yeah, I hope not. I do suspect they'll be better than Leeds, though. I do. I just think there's a bit more wily for all the reasons we've already said. Yeah, a little bit more wisdom to them. I think they've got more of the pacing. As I say, we need to see them. I need to see them at the weekends, and then we'll have a look. But I know we lost to Leeds, but I was not impressed with Leeds at all. We were so bad. No, I suspect they'll be relegated. Let me nail my colours to the mast. I suspect they will be relegated. But it can be tough. I do think it might well come down to them or us. Let's put it that way. So, God, I'm not going to tip West Ham to be relegated at this point. We're about to play them. So, yeah, I think they go down.
Yeah, I do as well. But I'm not as confident as I was before the season. So before the season started, my 3 to go down were Burnley, Wolves and Leeds. I'm going to stick with that 3. And it's not just because I'm stubborn. There's an element of that. There's an element of bias because I'm a West Ham fan and stuff like that. But with Burnley, I don't know. They just lack quality in some areas. I look at the squad. I think the keeper, well, you'd imagine James Trafford will go on to become a much better goalkeeper than he is now. At the moment, they've actually, to some extent, done all right in that regards, replacing him with Dubravka, who's done really well. Kyle Walker's been fantastic at right back. Hartman's gone in there in midfield. They've got Hugo Chukwu, but up front, I just can't get over that signing. When you've got £25 million for a striker, you go get Broja. That's the one signing I cannot shake, and I think it was a really bad signing. And when you make these predictions, there's a good chance you're going to look really stupid. But 3 months into the season, I think I've only been justified with that opinion that was a really bad signing for them. I don't even think he's their second choice striker. I think they prefer Foster and Fleming at the minute. And I think that could be the signing that comes back to haunt them. If they go down at the end of the season and there's not much in it, bearing in mind, I don't think Broja is going to have much of an impact between now and then. They might look back and think, if only we got a better striker in, maybe that would have been enough to keep us up. And I think they might be correct if that occurs, because when you're down the bottom, you've got to get, when you're competing for something so fragile, whether it's a pro team staying up, whether it's your Arsenal and you're trying to win the league, you cannot afford to make mistakes. You've got to get nearly everything right. If you're a mid-table team and you make a couple of errors, it's probably not the end of the world. You might go from 10 to 14. The consequences aren't as large. But with Burnley, I do just think you made a mistake with that one. I think that might just come back to bite them in the arse a little bit. So for now, I'm going to still say they go down. But Saturday's a big game, not just for us. It's a big game for Burnley too. And we'll finish up our Burnley section as always. Gonzo, players you admire?
No, not really, to be honest. I've just not seen them enough, actually. I saw that Fleming scored a really good goal, a side foot goal from distance. Wow, that was impressive technique, actually. I think I see Hugo Chukwu score, or I've just not seen enough of them. I know I've heard anecdotally that Walker's done well there, but like you say, I don't, it's just not, it's not, I don't want to pretend otherwise. Not going to, Burnley haven't been on the telly, at the right time, but if I'm honest, I wouldn't switched on the telly if Burnley were playing anyway. But I say that as someone I've been to Burnley. And I don't mean to watch West Ham. I have, but I've been to Burnley. I watched a game years ago with a friend of mine. Went and stayed up in Redditch, south of Manchester. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I was watching a Division 2 game, I think, at the time, and it was Burnley against Stockport. This was in the 90s. And it was a bloody good game. Say I didn't notice. Actually, it was quite. It wasn't Burnley. It was in Stockport because it was right near the viaduct. They hated each other. These two clubs, right? It's a sort of thing you wouldn't know about. And Burnley had the worst footballer I've ever seen in my life. On a professional footballer. His name was Joe Jacobs. I don't know if any Burnley fans are watching this remember Joe Jacobs. It wasn't spelt as you'd imagine it was spelt. Honestly, he couldn't kick the ball. He could control the ball. He was awful. But yeah, so no, I listen, I've not watched much of them. But I like Burnley. Got nothing against them at all.
I've seen a few of those players at West Ham over the years.
Certainly have.
Have we got any Joe Jacobs in our team? We've had one or two.
We actually do. We actually do. Fortunately, he can score goals, so we're all right.
I've already mentioned them. Really, the ones that have impressed me the most this season. I think Hartman's done really well at left back. I've been quite impressed by him. I think Hugo Chukwu felt like a really good signing. I thought he did all right. Actually, no, I thought he did better than all right at Southampton. So to get him on a permanent from Chelsea, I thought was a good move by Burnley. I thought Kyle Walker was a risk-free transfer for them. The structure of the deal, I know he's on a lot of wages, but the structure of the deal that they only really have to pay Man City if he's a success and they stay up and stuff. I think that's a wise transfer to do when you come up, because if you stay up, you've just banked an extra couple of 100 million. So to hand 5 million of it over isn't the end of the world. Plus, you would imagine if they stay up, Kyle Walker's had a big part to play, even if it's not on the pitch. I think sometimes people like him and maybe what Jordan Henderson's doing at Brentford, I think maybe sometimes as fans that don't support those clubs, we can underestimate the leadership qualities that they bring to the dressing room. Where you look at Kyle Walker, and when it happened, I'll be honest, I was like, oh, I'm not sure he's good enough for Premier League anymore, because he was starting to stink the gaff out at City before he went on loan last season. So I was like, oh, is he good enough for the Premier League? Because he lost it, kind of thing. You don't really know. But you almost felt sure that you almost overlooked, what he would bring, even if he's not playing, even if he was on the bench, in the dressing room before the game, during half-time and stuff, he's probably quite vital on the training ground Monday to Friday. Parker's not that much older than, and they played together at Spurs. They were teammates. So Parker would probably trust him a lot and vice versa. And it's the same with Henderson at Brentford. I think sometimes bringing in someone that can just bring something priceless can maybe be underestimated, because we're seeing the opposite at West Ham at a minute, when we're looking around going, bloody hell, has anyone got any leadership about them? I think sometimes they go under the radar. So you go Chukwu, Hartman and Kyle Walker. That's the three I've been most impressed by when I watched Burnley so far this season. And Anthony as well. It's good to see him playing well. There's a couple of players that I always thought they'd be good, but they're not quite good enough, like Hannibal and Marcus Edwards at Burnley. I always thought they'd go on and become really good Premier League players, but haven't quite hit the mark yet.
Did you say Cannibal?
Hannibal.
Oh, right. Oh. Tasty.
Nice hair. He looks like he's doing the Man U challenge as well with that hairdo of his.
I've not.
You don't know what he looks like.
I've not seen his hair. I've not seen his hair. No, I'm just thinking about Hannibal Lecter at the moment. But that's
like
right.
Sideshow Bob on Simpsons.
Oh, maybe I have actually.
Yeah,
yes, I have. Yeah.
Anyway, from Burnley to West Ham, would you like some team news, Gonzo?
I would love some team news, please.
It's quite positive. Obviously, we're missing the likes of Ollie Scarles and Konstantinos Mavropanos. However, George Earthy played again for the under-21s on Monday night against Wolves. Callum Marshall also participated in that game. So even though he was not in the squad against Newcastle, and there was a few question marks, and one of them would be, is he injured? The answer is no, he is available for selection. According to his agent, Niklas Füllkrug is available as well. So to spice up the preview a little bit, you can have him if you want. You can include him if you want. But apart from that, I think that's all the team news, really. I don't think there's too much changes from the players available. Perhaps Füllkrug would be available. Whether he is available or not, we'll have to wait and see. But that's certainly what his agent is claiming during the week on a podcast. Gonzo, possibly the easiest 11 for quite some time as to what you want to see. But for content, there's no point wrapping it up now. But also for the benefit of the listener.
Yeah.
Talk me through your goalkeeper and your defence, please.
Well, we will have Alphonse Areola in goal. We will have Obi Wan-Bissaka at right back. Do you know what? It's pointless. I was just about to say, after his excellent performance against Newcastle, going to put that in front of pretty much all of them, if you like. So yeah, that's great. I'll keep the central defenders, and I'll even switch them around. There you go, just like Nuno did. Reverse the sides that they play on. I'm going to keep Malik Diouf because I was just so impressed with the way he recovered from his shaky 20 minutes. I thought it was a magnificent show of mentality from him that enabled him to come back from, as I say, really shaky. Three big mistakes I felt in that first 20 minutes. Afterwards, he was winning tackles. Actually, by the end of the game, he looked like he was enjoying defending. At the start of it, I was thinking 20 minutes, we've got to get him off. So, yeah, absolutely. Long may it continue, and hopefully he can keep improving. Yeah, there you go. There's been back 5.
Yeah, completely agree. I think we're going to have a matching 11, by the way. And I think
so.
we might also match Nuno's 11 on Saturday afternoon as well. I'd be surprised.
You know what we need to do, Gio?
What?
Because that's not what the value isn't saying. We need to do. Do you remember we've done a couple of times this season where we've done a video on Patreon about the bench? Yeah. We need to do a bench video.
Okay, well, let's do a bench video and we'll whack it up on Patreon. Yeah. But just to repeat what Gonza said, Ariola, Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Chadibo and Juve. And I'll keep the centre-backs the way they were against Newcastle as well. I don't know why he done it, although we have posed the question, Gonzo. We have asked the question as to why he done it. Hopefully we'll have an answer.
In the press conference.
Yes. So this will be going up after the press conference. So...
Oh, okay.
Hopefully the question has been asked by someone.
Yeah. We've asked someone to ask a question on our behalf.
Yeah, because we're not allowed in.
we got a secret agent. Don't tell me people are going to watch this video. Don't just keep it between us.
Anyway, moving into midfield.
Yes, indeed. We'll keep that the same as well. Freddie Potts, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Fernandez next to him, that was lovely. Honestly, what a lovely partnership that was, and just absolutely brilliant that Potts got his man of the match flask or whatever it was, and that was fantastic. Really pleased for him and his dad. Yeah, I mean, why would you change it? And Lucas Paqueta in whatever position Lucas Paqueta was in. What, a number 10? We know it's a number 10 because Nuno told us he was a number 10. A very prestigious, important number 10. Yeah, quite
it's
right.
Symbol,
yeah. Nice. Yes. Well, if he's the symbol, the other 2 are the drums. In the midfield 3. Really good midfield 3. I was delighted with it, actually.
Did you see Prince What's his face was on Paqueta Island during the week?
I saw. Yeah, a politician was no, not a politician. Oh no, not a politician. He who used to be the prince. Is that right?
I thought it was a good prince. I thought it was really not Harry.
Oh no, you're right. It wasn't Andrew, was it? Sorry.
That's a different island he was on.
That's very good. You made me tremble. That's very good. That's a very that's satire. That's good, mate. I like that. It's a different. Yeah, it wasn't on Epstein Island. No. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
It wasn't that one, and it wasn't the one that no longer wants to be part of the royal. So it's not the one that's been kicked out of the royal family, or the one that doesn't want to be part of the royal family. Right. It's the good one.
These princes, eh?
I was going to make a joke about how he was on Paqueta Island and Paqueta got booked against Newcastle, but it's not much point now, really.
Well, to be fair, we've already whatever sense of dignity this preview had, I lost it with my error then, and I wasn't laughing. Obviously, I'm not laughing about Epstein. You know what I'm saying? I don't even need to justify myself.
Moving on to the front 3 for West Ham. Bowen, Wilson, and Somerville has to be.
Yes, indeed.
I'm not even going to pretend. Oh, do you change this or do you change that? Like Gonzo said, it's not even a discussion. It has to be the element that starts. And I do think don't change your winning 11. It's a myth. Quite often you do change your winning 11. It's not suitable for the next fixture, but actually I think it is suitable for this game. I'm really looking forward to seeing that midfield 3 in particular, because they just dominated Newcastle's midfield, who weren't very good. And they're going to come up against a hard-working Burnley one. But I do think with Newcastle, my fear was we're not as good as them. I don't have that fear for Burnley in the middle of the pitch. I think, well, we are better than them. If they're all on it, if Potts, Fernandez and Paqueta play like they did against Newcastle, I'm very confident they'll have too much for Burnley's midfield. So I'm looking forward to it on Saturday. Is it a must win for West Ham? I think it's a must not lose for Burnley, given they're 3 points ahead of us. But for us, it feels like a must win for me, Gonzo, because we beat Newcastle. That was fantastic. And I think it felt even better than a normal win would, because it was perhaps unexpected. So it had that element of surprise. It felt like a vital win. And I think the positivity off the back of it, everybody's just seemed happier. There's been less less abuse in the comment section on YouTube for the last few days.
So wait until you see this. Wait until you see the Epstein section on this video. It might change your mind.
But everybody's happy. However, I do think a large element of it was because we weren't expected to beat Newcastle.
Sure.
But that win against Newcastle sort of removed the disappointment for losing against Brentford. However, there's still a Leeds defeat lingering there. And I don't think beating Burnley makes up for losing to Leeds. I think beating Burnley this weekend would just be standing still, treading water. Yes, we gained 3 points on Burnley, but this is a fixture, even before the Newcastle game, before the Leeds game, before the Brentford game, I was looking at this fixture as we have to get 3 points, and that's that. We still need another minimum 8 wins this season. 8 wins might be enough as long as you pick up 8 draws. Well, we've got two wins so far. We need 8 more. This is one of them. I'm looking at the fixtures. I'm thinking, well, Burnley has to be one of the games that you win. This, as far as I'm concerned, this is a must not lose for Burnley, but this is an absolute must win for West Ham and Nuno this weekend.
Prince Andrew was good at picking up draws, wasn't he? I half agree with you. Because I actually do think that beating Burnley would feel magnificent. I can't be honest with you.
I agree.
I don't think it would feel like treading water. But I do also agree it's really important and probably is a must win, definitely a must not lose. Everything you said about Leeds, all of that. I just think this would feel far better than beating Burnley should ordinarily if we did. I don't know. Saturday kickoff, bit of a stroll and a march and a protest before. Everyone's peckers up from the win against Newcastle, back-to-back home games. I think there'll be people there. There'll be fans in the stadium.
There'll definitely be some people there. Yeah, you're right about that.
People there. I just don't. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I think the attendance will be big. I don't doubt there's. I reckon there'll be 60,000 there, and I doubt there's too many clubs who will get 60,000 when they play Burnley, right? And I just think if we can beat them, it will feel really good going into the international break. But we're still a team under repair. We're still, whatever confidence we might have is still paper thin, and make no mistake about it, you know, they're pacey enough and good enough to give us a test. This is not a home banker or anything close to it. So, which is why I think it would be, because I think there's still a load of relief there that we're still worried. So there would be relief basically if we were to win that game. And I think afterwards it'd be good. And what is it? 2 goal swing, and we'd go above them.
Yeah. Two goals. So we need to win by a couple of goals, and I think we need to win by scoring at least 3 as well. So I said we did a player ratings, and I said it's Burnley would still be, if we win 2-0, Burnley would be above us alphabetically. And one of the patrons came back and said, "Oh no, it goes to head to head."
Okay, so we would be ahead. Yeah.
But I believe that only comes into play at the end of the season.
Of course, yes. So yes, if we looked at the league, they would be ahead of us. But if it was the last game of the season, we'd be above them.
Yeah. So say we'd already played Burnley, it was 0-0, then we'd go above Burnley because we played both head to head. So I think we need to win by 2 goals and scoring at least 3 goals in order to leapfrog Burnley and get out the bottom 3 this weekend. But it's possible. It is possible. For the first time this season, we could come out of it. And I do actually agree with what you're saying. I just think this is a game that, because we beat Newcastle, we are now expected to win. I think we are. Well, we are the favourites for the bookies. We are expected to win this one. That's why I think winning, while it would be good, I don't feel like we're picking. it doesn't feel like bonus points. So that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Newcastle felt like an unexpected win. If we beat Burnley, I don't think it's an unexpected one per se.
No. The move is mental rather than actually physically moving up much in the league. The uplift is in belief and being able to have a nice couple of weeks, while the international football's on, I guess. So yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Me too. I am looking forward to this game for the first time in a long time. I've got a question for you guys at home, though. Every single one of you listening, got a question. Do you want some free beer? We like 8 cans of free beer, a couple of packs of free snacks, plus the latest Ferment magazine as well, all for free. Well, you have to pay postage. I say all for free. You got to pay postage, just £5.95. That's all you got to pay. And to grab this free beer from Northern Monk, I'm making my way through it. I've only got 4 left. How many have you drank?
I also have 4 left. I have 4 left.
We're both halfway through the box. There you go.
I've 4 left.
My snacks are going. You won't eat your paprika ones, but I've ate them. They were nice. They were nice. So if you fancy some 8 free beers, 2 packs of free snacks in your magazine, just go to Beer52. That's beer52.com/hammers. And then ask if you want mixed beers or if you want light beers, if you would like to avoid the darker stuff and the stout and stuff like that, like Gonzo does, you can just grab your light beers instead. Beer 52 will post some out to your house. And hopefully, next time we're playing after international break, you can kick back, open up a beer and have one while you're watching West Ham.
Well, I must say, actually, Martin did tell me on the phone the other day that he'd ordered his and they'd been delivered and he went for the dark beers, actually, and he was very pleased with them.
Happy days. Yeah, I've had some good feedback. If you've already ordered your beers and got them, leave a review in the comments below, because there might be some people that's a bit unsure and they're going to be thinking, well, them two are biased because it's a brand deal. They're going to, of course, they're going to encourage us to go get it. But if there's independent subscribers in the comments wish to leave their review, Beer52, you're more than welcome. You might persuade 1 or 2 people to join up. So thank you very much. Beer52.com/hammers. Gonzo, got a little bit of fruitiness back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Not just from me citrus beer, right? My citrus IPA. Yeah, I am definitely. I'm really looking forward to this. Really, yeah, all of it. The whole thing changes once you get a win. I enjoyed doing the player ratings the other day. I enjoyed doing this video, and just looking forward to the game and everything. Really, yeah. Can't wait for Saturday. Been a long time since I thought that, I've got to say. Yeah, long time since I thought that. Good.
Do you know the last time I was looking forward to Saturday?
Was it had nothing to do with West Ham?
Yeah, last weekend because we weren't playing Sunday.
There you go. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, my optimism's back as well. I think the thing is, we could have beat Newcastle unconvincingly, and it'd be like, right, okay, the win was good, but there's still a lot of things needing fixed here. We got away with it a little bit. This wasn't right. That wasn't right. But actually, looking back at the performance, the defence was good in the second half. Ariel didn't have a save to make until stoppage time in the second half. Yeah. And that was with Newcastle throwing the sink at us. We were sitting back saying, what you got? And the answer was not very much. We were very comfortable in the second half whilst leading. That's important. When you're down the bottom, if you can comfortably hold on to leads, I think that's a very strong attribute to have in your squad. And we looked very comfortable against Newcastle. Individually, there were some great performances all over the pitch. Goalkeeper, defence, midfield, attack. It doesn't matter where you look, there was good performances littered throughout the team. The bench was a concern, but then the guy that we brought on scored in the last minute, so we had an impact off the bench as well. There was just positivity everywhere. And Nuno said in his press conference pre-Newcastle, I like routine, and I'm waiting for something to click, and I'll tend to stick with it. But that gives me confidence. He's not going to change it from last weekend. I'm using his own words here. So I'm quite confident what we're going to see. And Nuno, after the game, said something along the lines of, training will be more positive, your legs recover quicker, and all that stuff. It's true. It is true. That training ground will be a happy place this week, and it will be the happiest it's been since we beat Nottingham Forest, since we beat Nuno's team. But even before that, you're going back to pre-season. You're going back to the start of August since it maybe felt this positive in that training ground. So I think we'll see the impact of that. There's a bit of pressure on us this weekend, but I don't know. It's good pressure. It's good pressure. Can you keep winning is the thing, other than can you stop losing? It's a completely different challenge, and I'm liking it. Gonzo, any final words, plus your all-important score prediction, which hopefully I've got here. I was one away last week.
Yeah. I think what you said is absolutely right about the feel-good factor. But I don't think it can be understated that the time he had on the training ground between Leeds and Newcastle, that was important. And we've seen that again. And these 2 weeks might be as good as it gets for a while for him. Because we know we don't have all the players there on the international. Plenty of them go away, don't they? And all play for their respective countries and whatnot, or even the under-21s. I'm like, Fernandez goes away and plays for Portugal under-21s, a very important player for them. So they seem to play just as much, don't they? So every time there's an international break, he goes away as well.
Even Guilherme goes, and even some of his squad players aren't around.
Yeah, exactly. So he might. Yeah, I mean, he basically his 2 centre backs will stay, won't they? So I think Marshall got called up for Northern Ireland today again. So yeah, it's a big deal between Newcastle at home and then to play this weekend at home as well. It's just not that travel. You haven't sandwiched in between. Got the travel back from Newcastle and then the travel to another game. This is important. So you don't have to factor that stuff in up until the point where they get on the team coach and drive into the ground. That's a lot of times, another big chunk on the training pitch. And we saw the work he'd done, both tactically, but also in terms of his motivation and what an upturn we'd seen just in terms of desire and teamwork from all of the squad there. If he can keep that, and he's added a couple of layers. He spoke about it himself. He felt he didn't say the words, but he wanted a platform. If he could find a platform, then he could start building on that. So he definitely found his platform last week. So you don't even have to add many things in. Okay, so there's a platform. Let me add one more tactical twist in there. Don't over confuse them. I wouldn't be surprised if he's done that. They're all motivated as well. I don't even think you've got to overly make up anything particularly cunning for Burnley, because you've got to get your own system sorted out. And if that's what that's it. Forget about them in many respects. Let's get our defence solid and let's counter-attack. All right? If we can do that, when you become a really good team, then you can start worrying about what the others are doing. But let's worry about ourselves for the moment. I think we can do it. I think we've got better players than them. I think big games from Jared Bowen and Lucas Paqueta, actually. Big games for them. And I think they'll turn up and I think they'll give us that. I also don't... I think we might win 2-0. I think we might get the 2-0 and then maybe we don't quite go and get the, get a move above them.
Around 3-1. Around 3-1. I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling quite confident that Nuno's going to put the same team out. I felt before the Newcastle game, he was sticking it on Bowen and Paqueta a little bit to step up. Basically saying, you two are my players. You need to step up and put it. And he got that reaction from them. I thought it was one of Bowen's better games this season, although we didn't get the goal or the official assist. I thought his all-round play had improved drastically, and I think he needed that, to be honest with you. It'll be interesting to see how Parker approaches this one. Did they come out and try and get a point, or did they go try win the game? I think they might sense a little bit of vulnerability with us. They've beaten Wolves away, for example. They might think that if we can go to West Ham and get a win, that's our 4th win of the season. We're on course to stay up. We're 6 points ahead of West Ham after 11 games. That's a good place to be when you're a promoted team.
Yeah.
That might help us, though. That might help us. My fear would be if Burnley was to come out and put in a low block and say, what you got? I'm not so sure. I think we look better under Nuno already when there's that space to counter-attack and to run into. But saying that, Paqueta showed if you do sit back, I'll have a dig from 20 yards. Bowen hit the post. We've got players capable of scoring in around the box. We just need to pull the trigger more often. I know Fernandez has got a good shot on him as well. Let's see it a little bit more often, please. Somerville's willing to cut in and shoot. Looking forward to this game, Gonzo. I'm feeling optimistic. I wouldn't say I'm confident about Nuno, but whether or not I'm confident we'll win. The only thing the thing that prevents me, though, isn't necessarily an anti-West Ham thing. It's more of a pro-Burnley and Scott Parker thing. I think they've been quite good and they'll be tricky customers. But at some point, you've got to just be realistic here. And it sounds harsh and disrespectful, but it's true. At the very start, you said, I hope they go down because they're one of the three we could finish above. And that's the reality. The reality is they might be all right this season so far, but they're only just outside the relegation zone. And we're hoping that come May, they will be in the relegation zone. And I'm pretty confident if they're not in the bottom three, they'll only just be outside it. This is one of the worst teams in the Premier League, but so are we. We still are one of the worst teams in the Premier League. We've got to be winning this game. This is a must win for me. A draw, it's another winnable fixture that's escaped us, and we've already had two during this set of games. We do not need a third, and we cannot afford a third because after the international break, we've got a very difficult one. We're going to struggle to pick up points in that little run, and I feel we're going to lose ground no matter what. So it's important that after the international break, we're starting level on points with Burnley, one behind Leeds, because I think we'll lose a little bit of ground, and then the winnable fixtures will come back, and hopefully we can make it up again before the January transfer window. Huge game Saturday. I'm going to agree with you, kind of. I'm going to give Burnley a goal, though. I'm going to say West Ham 2, Burnley 1. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've enjoyed this preview, please do kindly drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hamish Chat if you fancy checking out mine and Gonzo's other video, which is who we'd like to see on the bench at West Ham on Saturday. It's actually a good, fun little video. Head over to patreon.com/Hamish Chat. You can just grab the free trial. You don't have to pay anything. You can grab the free trial and you'll get the next week's worth of content for free without paying a penny. And if you fancy those 8 free beers, you do have to pay a penny. You've got to pay £5.95, but you'll get 8 free beers. Go to beer52.com/hammers. Myself and Gonzo, catch you in a bit.